Currently, there are many Asian foreigners working as technical intern trainees. The technical intern training system was created in 1993 in Japan. It's for young Asian people from developing countries who want to learn cutting-edge technologies in Japan and take that technology to use in their own country. That's why they are allowed to stay in Japan at most 5 years. Before the corona pandemic in 2019, almost 410,000 young Asian trainees came to Japan to learn new technologies. But in fact, instead of learning new technologies in preparation for becoming a developed country, they are learning how to exploit young workers who come from developing countries. And 2018, the Japanese government revised immigration controls and the refugee recognition law. They created a new visa category called Specified Skilled Worker. People on this visa can work in 14 specific industries, and our government announced that we will accept almost 345,000 specified skilled workers between 2019 to 2023. But to be honest, this new specified skilled worker category also has many problems. So today, I'll talk about it, and after watching this video, you'll understand why Asian foreigners shouldn't work in Japan. Meshida jokes about Japan. Hey guys, it's Meshida. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm a comedian and I introduce funny Japanese culture. If you are interested in that, please subscribe to my channel and please check out my Patreon page too. Meshida. Nowadays, 2,760,635 foreign people are living in Japan. This is a breakdown. Now, even under this pandemic, we have 276,123 technical intern trainees and 207,830 international students. By the way, the top 5 countries that international students come from are Indonesia, South Korea, Nepal, Vietnam, and China. So in Japan, international means Asian. And in fact, many international students also work part-time in Japan. The most famous workplace for them is convenience stores, which are open 24 hours. And some Japanese language schools introduce students to jobs in convenience stores. You could say that Japanese language schools are a great recruitment company for convenience stores. They teach Japanese to international students in order to force them to work in convenience stores. We should call international students Asian part-time workers. Meshida. So far, in Japan, international students and technical intern trainees have saved Japanese companies from labor shortages, but the Japanese government says technical intern trainees' main purpose is to contribute to international society through transferring cutting-edge technology from Japan to Asian developing countries. And the top 3 countries are Indonesia, China, and Vietnam. I cannot understand why many Chinese people are still working in Japan as trainees. Their economy is bigger than ours, more than anything. Surely, they already stole all our cutting-edge technology. Their work options are limited and their job is categorized specifically. They have to choose a job among 85 industries and 156 jobs. And once you have started working, and it's difficult to change industry. By the way, their occupations are, for example, agriculture, fishery, construction, food processing, and working in a clothing factory. To put it simply, the jobs Japanese people don't want to do. There are 3 different levels of technical intern trainees, number 1 to number 3. They start as a technical intern trainee number 1. So their first year is a training period. Their salary is lower than minimum wage because they are not working. They are in training. After the training, if they can pass both a written and practical test, they can get the technical intern trainee number 2 license and stay 2 more years. Then, if they want to stay and work, if they can pass another practical test, they become a technical intern trainee number 3 and can stay 2 more years. So, if they can step up from number 1 to number 3 as a technical intern trainee, they can stay in Japan for at most 5 years. But after that, they have to go back to their own country. To be honest, the Japanese government accepts them not to contribute to the international world, but because they want technical intern trainees to contribute to small and medium-sized Japanese companies' labor shortages and to help cut labor costs hugely. Some of them are working in very bad conditions and under minimum wage. Our Japanese government declared a contribution to international society, but for their own profit, they ignore human rights violations. They seem to learn a lot from the United Nations.
Meshida.
In 2019, a new working visa state called Specified Skilled Worker was created. This allows foreign workers to work in 14 occupations which have a labor shortage problems. And compared to technical intern trainees, their industry options are not divided so specifically, so they can have more choice of occupation within that industry. Specified skilled workers have 2 categories, number 1 and number 2. First, they get a number 1 visa and can stay at most for 5 years. If they can get a number 2 visa, it's possible for them to live in Japan permanently and their family is allowed to live in Japan too. It's possible to become a specified skilled workers from a technical intern trainee number 2 or number 3 visa. But of course, it depends on the industry. Some industries are not included under the number 2 specified skilled worker visa, even though they are included under number 1. And number 2 workers need to have a skilled craftsmanship and they need to pass a difficult practical exam. Furthermore, if they want to get permanent residency, they have to have enough property or assets to live in Japan by themselves. And since becoming a specified skilled worker, they have to live in Japan for more than 10 years. Yes, it's not easy. Finally, we don't need to lie that we accepted international trainees to contribute to the international world. We can make them contribute to Japanese companies as a working slave. There is no universal definition of what an immigrant exactly is. Basically, overseas, after foreigners work more than 1 year, they are called immigrants. But our Japanese government regards immigrants as people who have a permanent residency when they enter the country. So, other than that, all foreign people who come to Japan to work are not regarded as immigrants. They are just gaijin workers. After this new law was announced, the Japanese media reported that finally Japan decided to lift the ban of immigration. But our Prime Minister denied it and said, this new policy is not for lifting the ban on immigrants in Japan. It means this is not a new immigrant policy. This is a policy of disposable Asian foreign workers.
Meshida.
Specified skilled worker means foreign workers who work in industries that require special skills. The 14 industries that need foreigners' special skills include elderly care, food service, construction, building cleaning, agriculture, and fisheries. Even though the government calls these 14 jobs special skilled occupations, we Japanese call them disagreeable occupations. To be honest, as you already know, these 14 industries need people with special skills because no Japanese people learn those skills. Simple to say, we Japanese need more foreign blue-collar workers. Our Japanese government worries about Japanese citizens who don't want to accept blue-collar foreign workers. And they also need to attract young Asian workers and want them to come to Japan to work. So they said, we are facing labor shortage and we need more high-skilled and creative foreign workers. So we won't make them do simple work. So in Japan, they can do creative work using their high skills. For example, office cleaning very early in the morning, farm work in disgusting work conditions, and changing diapers for old people with dementia. And specified skilled workers are guaranteed an equivalent or higher salary than Japanese workers. Fortunately, they work with Japanese workers who are at the bottom of Japanese society.
飯だ
Recently, the Japanese media often report on the disappearance of technical intern trainees from Asian countries, especially Vietnam. The media says many technical intern trainees from Asia work in bad conditions and get a low salary, and it seems to be a human rights violation. As a result, many trainees run away from their workplaces. Actually, in 2021, it was reported that 7,167 trainees ran away from their workplace. When you hear more than 7,000 people disappeared that year, you get the impression that many trainees run away and it seems to be a serious problem. But it is estimated that in 2021, in total, 276,127 trainees were working in Japan. And the number of missing persons was 7,167 people. So the disappearance rate was just 2.5%. So basically, 97.5% of trainees were working under this governmental system. You could say this is the most advanced control system in the world. It said many trainees are in debt because before they come to Japan, they pay a lot to intermediaries. So among the trainees, some of them have debts of more than 1 million yen. As a result, they have to work and earn money in order to pay back their debts. Also, if they quit their job, they have to go back to their own country. Yes, our government created a very good system. But unlike technical intern trainees, specified skilled workers can change their job. So Japanese companies need to educate or brainwash them to work long hours for a low salary. Now, many Japanese companies are struggling to make Asian corporate slaves. Unlike Japanese people, they are not educated to be corporate slaves.
飯だ
Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to my channel and please check out my Patreon page too. So, see you soon. Bye bye.